Hello, I'm James Clark and I'm Managing Director at Hook Norton Brewery. I think my earliest memories are as quite a young child coming here with father at weekends. So I think probably the sort of awe of the building, particularly as a child of probably 4 or 5 years old, the sheer scale of the building. And then when you come inside, there's so many wonderful aromas, whether you're in the malt room or near the hop stores, or indeed just the aroma, sort of the timber that the brewery's built with.
I suppose the brewery was the thing that really brought me to this village when I saw it. I was absolutely amazed at this strange building up this little country lane. Bizarre is not quite the right word, but it is quite an unusual sort of building to find up a country lane. There is a marvellous photograph behind me which shows workers in progress, possibly some of the brewing staff there as well, because they never shut down. They carried on building this new centre and still brewed all that time while the building was going on.
I think the thing that most traditional brewers enjoy is the mashing in process, which is the first stage of the brewing. It takes place early in the morning when we mix together the crushed malt and the hot liquor and have these wonderful malty, cereally aromas through the brewery. It's quite a peaceful time of day before too many people around, before the phone starts ringing, and then really seeing that process through. And it's great to see, with so many new breweries coming on the scene now, that is very much back to the actual beer making, the art of beer making, and this whole sort of movement of craft beer. The rebuilding of the original boiler chimney is the biggest building project undertaken here, certainly in living memory, and probably since the brewery was completed back in 1899. The chimney is over 100 years old and it was showing signs of wear and tear. It hadn't been used operationally since 1970. So it was quite a debate whether we repaired or actually took it down, but we were delighted to receive the funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund, which has enabled us to rebuild it.
It is listed, and you can't just knock these things down. I haven't done another chimney as tall as this one, as a freestanding chimney. Initially, we didn't have any drawings, so we had a real blank sheet of paper. What do we do with this chimney? Starting from zero, really. The scaffolding drawings and the scaffolding itself is a design in itself, a huge scaffolding. And we came up with a concept of moving all the materials from the base of the chimney to where you want to be working at the top of the chimney through the flue of the chimney.
The electric hoist at the very top of the scaffold takes the grey boxes full of bricks up and down for cleaning, and then again for rebuilding it. Bottom brickworks, 630 millimetres thick, including the fire brick that's inside of the old chimney.
The finished height of the chimney will be about 23.5 metres, or 23.6 to be precise. The height of the chimney prior to demolition was around 22.4 metres, so it will be around 1.2 metres higher than what it was, but we think that was the original height. Probably the best photograph that we have that shows the rear chimney. You can see the front chimney quite clearly, but the back chimney and the detail of the stone capping that's the best detail we have to go on. We're going to put the original stone capping back on the top of the chimney. The methods and materials that we're using to rebuild the chimney are actually very similar to what was used originally. except that we're using a steel scaffold. Previously they would have used a timber and rope scaffold. In terms of the bricks themselves, we're reusing the bricks that we've taken down carefully.
This top half was all done in old red flattened bricks in sand and cement, which was extremely hard, but all this, from that point there to that point there, we just lifted the bricks off by hand. Acid wash, water with a very slight bit of acid in there just to get any stains off of them. Wire brush and picking hammers, scrubbing brushes. Every single one's been done by hand. It took us nearly 9 days to clean over 2,000 bricks so far.
The boiler chimney is a fundamental part of the operation of the brewery, and we need to think back. The Tower Brewery that we see here today was constructed in the late 1890s, and it needed a source of motive power to drive machinery and also a source of heat so that we could heat various brewing process vessels. So the chimney is from the original coal-fired boiler. So in that boiler, coal would be burned. It would heat up water to steam, and then that steam was used either to heat other vessels or as a source of energy to drive our steam engine, and then the steam engine drove all of the motive power requirements throughout the brewery. This is a 25 horsepower steam engine installed in 1899, double acting steam engine with pressure on both sides of the cylinder, and that was the main source of motive power for the brewery. So the operation of the brewery relied on the power coming from that steam engine to drive things like the malt mill, the mash tun mixer, water pumps, hoists and so on. So without that the brewery couldn't have functioned. And installed at a time when, although this is a brewery, very typical of industrial premises of that time, where you had a large motive power source, often fired by steam, so from a boiler, and then that distributed power throughout the building, whether it was a brewery or a mill in the northwest or whatever.